Doing well, guys. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for joining us. I thought yesterday was a learning lesson for a couple of people, especially a young catcher, about the relationship between a pitcher and catcher and shaking off. Do you learn? Does he learn? Does Framber learn from those experiences? Because let's face it, even though Yonir's been with the team a couple of years, it has been a long time where Framber has thrown to Yonir in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think it's a learning experience for both guys. That happens, all the time. And, sometimes pitchers, have feel for certain pitches and they want to, execute whatever they think it's right at in that precise moment. And, yesterday in that fifth inning, I think things didn't go the well Framber wanted to. And I think it's a good learning experience for both of them. We'll make adjustments and we'll make sure that, that Framber is ready to go and for his next start.
And I'm going to assume that because it happened so quickly, and I've talked a lot about this with the postgame audience yesterday, that as much as you want to get an arm ready to go, it takes time for those guys in that bullpen to get warmed up.
Guys, listen, we've been going through our bullpen, pretty heavily here. We played, 13, 14 games in a row. We need our starters to take us deep in the game. If you go in the bullpen in the fourth inning, I'm going to ask a bullpen to give me 4+ innings. It's tasking. It's asking a lot. At the time, we were up by 5. We left the game. Framber left the game. We were down by 2. It's a 2-0 game in the fifth. I trust our offense and our bullpen to give us a chance to win the game.
And just on Framber in general, what is it that he needs to do when he's at his best? And especially, we talked about the pitch clock coming into play and him trying to help himself calm himself down out there. Just what tools does he need to use to be at his best?
Well, he's got one of the best tools in the game, which is his sinker ball. Anytime he needs to ground ball, he needs to induce contact. He has one of the best sinkers in the game. So anytime he runs into trouble, he just got to execute his sinker down in the zone and ground balls, what happens. And that wasn't the case last night. Anytime you see balls in the air against Framber, that makes the execution, it's not there, and that's what happened in the fifth.
Well, I'll say this, as downtrodden as everybody was and as shell-shocked we all were, you had your spot in the ninth inning. And that's what I think the fan base to understand, is this is a long marathon. You want every game to be pretty. If you lose a game, you want it to be 3-2. Sometimes it doesn't happen that way. So I would assume the gentlemen in that clubhouse, and especially the guys in the battery last night, will do their best to shake that off as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, guys. Listen, we have another 1:15 to go. There's a lot of baseball left. You can't take away the fight from our guys. Even though we were down, but we had an opportunity. We won one swing of the bat to win in the game last night. Our guys will fight to the end. We're playing our best. And just because that game got out of our hands the way it did, it doesn't mean that it will linger to the next day. No, we turn the page and we'll get ready to go out there and win a game tonight.
You have had to juggle the lineup for a variety of reasons, whether it's players or moving guys up and down the order. On a bright note, Kyle Tucker looks like he's embraced that number 2 spot. That has to be as good of a feeling for you as a manager to be able to go to that lineup card at whatever time you do and put those top 2 spots and not even think twice about it at this point.
Yes, Kyle, it don't matter where you hit him. He's always just going to contribute, and he's shown the last couple of years that he's one of the best hitters in the league. And, getting that production out of that 2 spot between Jordan and Altuve has been huge for us. And we're getting some guys getting hot at the right time. So I'm really excited about that.
You had to work with a pitcher down because of the Blancos suspension, and we talked about the bullpen and bringing guys up and having to use them. Is that an extra check these days? Because you're not going to even see that first off day until Thursday.
Correct. And we have Presley down for a few days because of his finger. So we've been asking a lot from our guys. So it has not been easy to manage. Navigate this last couple of weeks, but. We have won, a few series in a row. Our starting pitchers has done a tremendous job. Our offense starting to get some big hits. So, I don't want to bring up last night's game too much because it's in the past. Our focusing on the future, which is today's game, and we playing really good baseball. I like the way we are playing.
Yeah, that's for sure. You made up a lot of ground so far in the American League West in a very short period of time. It feels like to me, Skip, and this is a good problem to have, that you're about to get a logjam bringing back some players. Urquidy, Chaz, and it sounds like Jose could be right around the corner as well. I would assume at this point there are some very difficult intelligence meetings going on right now between you and Dana and the rest of the organization.
Yes, we're getting some good players back, and that's huge. And when you play a long season like ours, you need a lot of players to contribute. You need a lot of personnel. You need a lot of hands on deck to help us to get what we want to get to. And getting Chaz back, getting Abreu back, those are players that can help us contribute. Will give all the players some rest time. We can mix and match. It's a really good problem to have.
Astros manager Joe Espada was here with us here on Sports Talk 790. And Joe, since he came up a few years ago, I have on this show named myself the president of the Jake Meyers fan club. So I've really been happy with what he's been doing lately. I'm curious, just what do you think is unlocked for him, and what is going right for Jake Meyers? He did go 0 for 4 last night. Had some hard to contact though. Just what's been working for him?
You know what? I think he's not missing his pitches. We know there's power. We know when he stays in the zone, in his zone, knowing his strength, swinging at the pitches that he can handle, he can do some damage. And I think that's been the key for Jake. He can really hit fastballs. He's one of the best fastball hitters in the big leagues. And when he stays and he gets them, and he stays with his A swing, and he's able to repeat it. We get that production that we're getting, out of him. We all know about his defense, but right now, he's playing with a lot of confidence. He's hitting some balls hard. He's driving the ball. He's doing some damage, which we need him to continue to do here.
Joe Espada with us here on Sports Talk 790. Skip, the conversation, obviously, the last couple of days has been about Jose and what he has done down in Florida. You've relied on Jeff. You've relied on text. You've relied on maybe even a phone call or two with Jose. And we've not asked a whole lot about him, but we were a little surprised that the decision was made and maybe to bring him up later this week. What have your conversations been like that you can share with us? And what has he said that in his mind he thinks was broken and maybe hopefully has been fixed with some time down in West Palm?
So, he played yesterday. He had 5 at-bats, played some first base. He hit a double. Actually, when you look at his overall swing, the changes he's made, I think he's in a much better place when it comes to be able to recognize pitches, see pitches, and put an A swing on, right? He's a much cleaner swing, and that's important. Also, his mindset, like he is in a much better place. He's been around his family. He's been controlling the workload, being able to concentrate and take his time in between reps, in between workouts. We have a really good staff around him to support him down in West Palm. So I think we've done some really good things to put him in a better place. And our conversations have been great. He sounds upbeat. He sounds like he's ready to go. And we are excited to have him back. We really need to see the Jose Abreu that we got, late last year and in the postseason.
I asked you yesterday if there was a thought or two about maybe him going to play a minor league game or two before you guys go out to Oakland. Has there been any further discussion about whether he can go right from West Palm to join you guys, or does he want to get at least one minor league game in?
So we're still having those discussions. I think it will be beneficial for him to do that. But he is getting a ton of at-bats, down in West Palm. We would like to get him, at a higher level to get him to play, but just a conversation that we continue to have with him.
There's some Joey Loperfido fans out there that are worried about the time that, when Chaz comes back. I know that Dana may have hinted towards this is a guy that needs to play 5-6 days a week. How are you evaluating his performance, knowing that it's very hard to squeeze it in with all those other guys trying to fight for that playing time, especially the fact that Kyle, basically plays 95% of the time?
Yeah, well, I'm also a Loperfido fan. So for all the fans out there, I'm a big fan of Joey, and he what he did in spring training really caught the eye of a lot of people. And then I think there'll be some opportunities for him to play. I think he can that left bat is very valuable. Having Chas back, knowing that he's a right-hander hitter, and we know that he handles righty-lefties very well. He's done in years past, but there's always some matchups there for Loperfido that we could get him going. Chas is coming back from a hamstring injury, so we want to make sure that we control the volume right off the bat. So there'll be chances for Loperfido, but if we really want to find out what this kid can do, playing every single day, getting him every day at bats is always kind of the best way to go with younger players. But we're excited to have him here right now, and I'll look for spots for him to get him in there and get him playing some playing time.
Thank you for the visit as always. Great material, and good luck tonight against the Angels. We appreciate the visit as always.
All right, guys. Thank you.
You got it. That's Joe Espada joining us here on the Matt Thomas Show. Again, I think he's got some tough decisions to make. You've got some guys that are playing that are either going to be squeezed out a little bit, and if what Dana said was accurate a couple of days ago, that Joey's got to be a guy that's got to get 4 ABs 6 days a week, it might be a trip back to Sugar Land to get those ABs.
One of them good problems, as they say.
Yeah.